Now, Attorney General, you just filed a lawsuit against TikTok going back to the 17th of this month. We're going to get more into the details, but just explain your basis for it.
Yeah, I sued TikTok because they are misleading parents with what their application is and exactly what's on there. So right now they have a rating of 12 plus in the App Store, but we did an investigation using a burner phone impersonating a 13-year-old. We found material that was very inappropriate: binge drinking, illegal drug use, sexually explicit materials, other things that are definitely not appropriate for children.
So, in terms of misleading parents, is it the way that the app is advertised? Is it the safety features that don't filter out stuff on the app? What is it specifically for misleading parents?
Well, it comes down to this. Parents need tools in order to keep their kids safe and to make decisions to keep their kids safe. And when the app is rated at 12 plus, that means a parent would think that it's safe for a 13-year-old, and it's not. It has adult content on there that is frequent and very harmful to kids. Whether it's binge drinking, drug use, you name it, very harmful material to kids. So it's just not appropriate for kids. And they're misleading parents with that rating. It should be an adult rating. And also, many parents use those ratings to control what kinds of materials their kids can have access to. And so that rating can be used to get around the parental blocks, and parents won't even know what their kids are looking at.
I've been on TikTok. I was a teenager once a while ago too, where there was social media. I do see unfiltered content. I do see stuff that may have a gradient to it to get past some of the security systems they have, whether that is nudity or drug use, as you were describing. Were there parents actively reaching out to the Attorney General's office? Were you seeing stuff on your own? I guess how did this come across?
Well, I'm a parent, so I'm always concerned about what kids have access to. As a parent and a prosecutor, I am very careful about all kinds of things, whether it's social media, internet connections on a tablet, what's appropriate for a child for them to be exposed to at a young age. That's so important. And I do hear from other parents all over Iowa that want to do a good job of parenting, but they need the tools, and in order to do it, companies like TikTok have to give them accurate information. Otherwise, parents aren't working off of accurate information, and it's a real problem. It's a real problem, too, for kids' mental health. And so we've seen some problems that way with the number of kids who are considering self-harm has really gone up. And I think social media and other influences have a big role to play in that. We have to keep our kids safe.
Now, it's obviously wouldn't be your decision to how they would fix that problem, but in your eyes, is it raising the age? Is it getting better at filtering content so it is truly 12 plus? What would you deem fit, I guess?
Well, I want the rating to be accurate. So if it's supposed to be appropriate for 12 plus, then they should make sure that the material is appropriate for 12 and older. If they're not going to change anything, then they need to make it clear to parents that this is an adult app, because exposure to things like illegal drug use and binge drinking can be deadly for a child. And for them to be seeing that at that young age, serious consequences. And as parents, we want to know what our kids are seeing, and we want to make sure that it's appropriate for their age.
Have you gotten any type of response from TikTok too? Obviously, we're in the legal realm too, so it's not like official responses, but have you gotten anything back from them?
TikTok has not responded yet. They have 60 days to respond to the lawsuit, and we'll be pursuing this case all the way through court right here in Iowa.
You said feet to the fire. You say that a lot. We'll just coin it as your term here too. Is that your hope then to get them to? I'm going to guess that the filtering would be a little more difficult than raising the age as well, but just to have some type of resolution that you deem fit.
Well, I want to be sure that parents have accurate information about the apps that their kids might be downloading. And so it needs to be accurate, it needs to be truthful, and parents need to have the tools that they need to keep their kids safe.
What would you say to people that are saying, well, parents got to be more attentive to their kids in a world of iPad learners, just sitting there scrolling? It's tough to monitor everything. Is there some of this that's on the parent as well?
Well, I think as parents, we all have a responsibility to keep our kids safe, but we do that based on the information that we get. And that's why this app rating that is wrong is so important, because that can be used to get around parental blocks, and it can also cause a parent to think that it would be appropriate for a 13-year-old when it's just not.
For parental blocks too, age-wise, is that like a shelf there? Does it go? I don't have any children, so I wouldn't know. But I'm not sure quite how that functions on TikTok, or is it like 12 and up, 12 and under type thing?
It has to do with the app, that particular one. But I can tell you as a mom, when I have a young son, and when he wants to use an app or play a game or something like that, I do look at the rating, and I make sure, given his age, that it's E for everyone if it's a game, because he's a young child. And I think other parents do that too. We might not know all the different apps out there that our kids are interested in, but we can look at that rating, make a decision. And then I always recommend that parents also have their kids, if they're using a tablet or something else like that, use it in a public area of the home so that you have an idea of what kinds of things your child is being exposed to. And it is a good idea to limit that screen time as well.
Then just final question for you here too. What would you tell to Iowa parents, Iowa families, as this loss is going out, just in terms of being conscious with their kid on TikTok?
Well, I want all parents to know that I'm going to fight for them to make sure that they have the tools that they need to keep their kids safe so they can make informed parenting decisions that are appropriate for their family. But I also want every parent to know just how important it is. We live at an age where devices, social media, and apps are a regular part of this world. So kids have to learn how to navigate that, how not to spend too much time on their phones, but it's a part of their world as well. So making sure that what they're doing is healthy, age appropriate, and best for our kids.
Gotcha. All right, Attorney General Byrd, thanks very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.